Welcome to the 5G podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversation about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
Well, Trevor,
Tell me.
there's one thing that I wanted to get your opinion on.
Okay.
I have a very strong opinion about it. Here, I'll get my arms down so that Editor Ryan cannot be pissed at me.
Don't give her more reasons than she already has.
True. No, it just came out. So, all these cars are going, like, the new cars are going to these, like, I don't want to call
electric?
the interior, they have, like, these entertainment systems, right? It's like this big old screen, and, like, a lot of controls are on there. It's like a touch screen and all this junk.
Yeah,
right? Like, the new GMCs have it, the new Dodges have it. The Tesla, obviously, is just a screen.
Right, yeah.
Like, I think Ford's going that way, Jeep's going that way.
Weird.
Like, all these companies are going that way.
Where's the controller ports? Like, let me hook up a N64 or something. If you're going to put a giant screen in there.
You can on a Tesla.
Really?
You can connect, I think it's an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller to it, and you can play, like, games on it.
It's hilarious.
Anyway, the Jeep has just announced, so Jeep is owned by, like, the Chrysler Group.
Yeah.
The Chrysler Group is owned by Fiat. So it's Fiat. Anyway.
That sounds un-American.
There's...
For them to own Jeep?
Yeah, Jeep is owned by Chrysler, who's owned by Fiat.
Yeah, okay.
Did you know that, like, most car companies, like, when you think of, like, a cars on the road, it's like, you have your three American brands. You have your GM, your Ford, and your Dodge.
Yeah.
Right? Well, Dodge is also actually owned by Chrysler, who is owned by... So Dodge isn't even an American brand anymore. I mean, they're a traditionally American brand.
Started American, I got you.
But they're owned by Chrysler, who's owned by Fiat, the Fiat Group. The Fiat Group and the VW Group, the Volkswagen Group.
Yeah, okay.
They own, like, probably 75% of car companies
because then in the world. It's like Fiat, VW, and then, like, Asian cars. Is that it?
Well, and then there's the Tata company, which is an Indian. I believe they're Indian.
Okay.
They own a bunch of different ones. They own, like, Volvo and stuff like that.
Interesting. All right.
But it's interesting because, like, VW owns, like, Bugatti and Lamborghini and
all the nice cars.
It's either Audi or BMW. It's like those two companies own, like, a huge section of the car market. And then there's a French company that owns, like, two. It's like Peugeot and Renault.
Yeah, Renault.
Renault is how you are supposed to say it. But we don't have them over here. They're literally just a European car.
But in South America.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Saw a lot of Peugeot and Renault.
Yeah. The Peugeot has, like, the lion as their little...
Yeah, it's
kind of a cool little...
It's not bad.
Yeah. Anywho, Jeep, right,
is something you feel strongly about.
I do feel strongly about this. So, they have announced that when the car is stopped at, like, a red light or something like that, there are in-car ads now.
No. What? That's a meme. That's got to be.
It's not. I checked it. They're putting ads in cars.
Why?
And apparently they're thinking it's going to add $2 billion
of ad revenue
to their bottom line.
Yeah, that's big numbers, I guess. But, like, how many people are not going to buy a new Jeep because of that?
Oh, like, that's insane to me.
Yeah, or you charge the premium subscription, the ad-free Jeep.
Like, legitimately, I think that's, like, a thing.
Not even Cyberpunk 2077 had ads in the cars, and that's regarded as one of the, like, the most dystopian, like...
I don't know what's going on. That was very Italian. What's going on?
We were talking about...
What's going on?
The Fiats.
Mario and Luigi kind of vibe going on a little bit.
You gotta watch out for that name lately, but...
True.
Yeah.
He just got to court the other day.
I think so, yeah. I heard
something like that. Did we even talk about that? We did.
Yeah, a little bit,
yeah. The guy who commented about your Trump shirt is probably a big fan of Louis.
Yeah, he could be, yeah. Wants to have his children.
Yeah, it was... Anyway.
Wherever we were going. Usually I'm good at bringing us back to from the segue, the train wreck.
Usually I have like a little bit of time to like collect my thoughts in the morning. This morning I like woke up and like came over here.
You're just right to it, yeah.
Anyway.
Jeep car ads. That sounds very cyberpunk, very evil, very dystopian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
you just get ads in your car. And
I don't know how who controls the roads? The Road Safety Authority? Like
the government?
Yeah, whatever government agency is in charge of like car safety.
Yeah.
Right?
Each state's Department of Transportation?
I suppose it would be, or there's a U.S. Department of Transportation.
Yeah, okay.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
USDOT. Duh.
Oh, good.
I'm surprised that they're allowing that.
Yeah. If that's like a distraction. Because it's video ads, you said. That's the point. They've got the screen. Like
they didn't say if it was like a video ad, like subscribe to, or like the stupid like little like phone video game.
Yeah.
They didn't say what it was. It could just be like a pop up like text ad or something like that.
You gotta close out of.
I don't know. I didn't see a picture of it. Maybe there is one online.
Yeah.
But I didn't see a picture of it, so I don't know if it's a video or a pop up. But like nonetheless, in my opinion, it's ridiculous.
It's only at a red light, so maybe they've cleared it. It was like, oh, that's not a distraction. Car's out of stop.
Yeah, but at the red light, it's like when you should be like adjusting your air conditioning or like, doing whatever on your little screen so that adjusting the control so you can pay attention to the road.
You should still be paying attention, not staring at a screen. So
it's like, and also like how does that mean that all these cars just have internet? So like, how does that work?
Oh, they're using the satellite?
I guess they must be using satellite to or like cell services or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to pay for that service? Or like,
who's paying for that?
Is like some guy just going to be able to like jailbreak his Jeep now and like get free internet?
Yeah. Wait a second.
Like, I'm not sure how this is going to work.
No.
It's weird.
That is weird.
It opens up a whole like realm of like.
Yeah. Can you use your Jeep? Hey, can you hotspot your Jeep real quick?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Okay.
Some nerd on the like. I saw it. All right, Steven, focus.
I am fascinated by that. If that's the future, I'm like, it's not really the cyberpunk dystopian future I'd want, but I guess if that's where we're going,
I think
I don't even listen to radio anymore. And my previous job, I used to drive a lot, like all over the valley here, all over the metropolitan area. Tons of driving, and I liked the radio because it was like a variety of music, and I'd be hopping in and out at job sites. So I didn't have to like fiddle with an audiobook or a playlist or every time I got in and out. Just throw it on, whatever. But I can't do it anymore. I'm in the car a lot less, but I'm more traditional, like during the rush hour traffic, and I hate ads. I'm like, what if these ads are just like
70% of the show?
Yeah, and it's just garbage. And they're just like, you're just like stealing time from me. You're just siphoning life off of me so that I can listen to these ads. I'm like, no. I don't know, it's empowering to be like, you're not in charge of me. I don't have to listen to this ad.
Yeah.
But if Jeep is just going to force you, I'm like, oh, well. Not that I was ever going to buy a Jeep before anyway, I don't think. But
yeah, it's interesting because this is what my tangent was earlier.
Yeah.
Speaking of not buying Jeeps. Like, I don't know. There's like a connotation, like a Jeep is like meant to be an off-road vehicle.
Yeah, right.
Like they've gotten nice and like.
But that's how they started. They know that.
They have their like Renegade and stuff like that. That's kind of like a Subaru-esque thing, right? But their Wranglers, like people buy those and like rip them apart and then like throw all this other crap on to make them like these sick off-roading machines, right? Theoretically. I saw Ryan and I were driving to the movies yesterday, and on the highway, or the freeway rather, there was a Jeep Wrangler, and it was usually they have like a little like 4x4 badge on the bottom or whatever, on like the back. This was a 4xe.
So
we looked it up, and it's an electric Jeep.
An electric Jeep.
And I was like, I don't know how to feel about
4xe. Yeah, for an off-roading vehicle.
Yeah.
Do you bring an extra battery in the back instead of extra gas?
Like, I don't get it.
Why?
It does not compute in my brain.
It just really makes the morning commute easy in your off-road vehicle.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like,
And it was a Wrangler. Yeah.
It wasn't like a Grand Cherokee. With
one of the luxury
SUV, like crossover type thing, right? It's
yeah.
Where they have their Wagoneer, which is just a big SUV style thing, right?
If
it was one of those, it'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, that's fine. That's not meant to be like an off-roading tough guy vehicle type thing, right?
Cheap Wrangler electric,
yeah. I just don't get it. Like, I understand the want for like a hybrid or an electric vehicle for like a commuter car.
Definitely, yeah.
Right? Like, that makes sense. And like,
where you have somewhere to plug it in everywhere you go.
Or even just like, you drive it to work, you drive it home from work, and then like around town a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you charge it at night and it's fine, right? But it's like, I don't understand like Cybertrucks or like the Rivian truck
that have other utility.
They're like supposed to be like utility, or like even the Ford Lightning or whatever. And the Ford Maverick is a little bit more acceptable because it's such a tiny car.
Yeah,
that like it's not really a truck. It's really just like a cut-off crossover.
Yeah, it just has a flat part you can strap things to.
Yeah,
if you want.
But I think it's like it's hybrid. I think, not electric.
Okay, yeah.
But like all these like electric trucks, and I'm like I don't see it. Like, I don't know. I just like
I'm not there yet. Yeah, that's
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And maybe I will in the future. I mean, at one point I didn't understand Bitcoin. I still don't understand it. So maybe I won't get there.
Maybe someday or not.
I don't understand Bitcoin, but other people do.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I believe them yet or not.
And I listen to their financial advice wholeheartedly. No.
100%. All of my investments
all into Bitcoin.
No.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
So, I don't know. It's been interesting.
That's the future we live in, I guess. Yeah. Fun. Shall we get to the bulk of our topic today, or I don't know?
Part of the bulk of the
topic? Some of the bulk? We do actually have some things, yeah.
Sure. What do you want to talk about? Cactuses?
Yeah, cacti. We have obviously just the best Magic the Gathering takes. You don't go anywhere else on the internet. We're the only experts for all your Magic cards. Magic card review commentary. Most qualified.
I think so.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. I was about to say, all right, I'll stop bull crapping, and then you said, I think so. Okay,
I'm doubling down on this, Trevor.
Double down.
We are the best authority on Magic. No one else has better knowledge about Magic than I do, who's only been playing for 3 years.
And if you have a different opinion than us, not allowed.
You're wrong.
No, let's talk about some fun Magic cards that have been spoiled this week.
Can we do the cactus first?
Yes, obviously. The cactus spawned the most memes, so he's the most noteworthy.
I pulled up a meme for you.
Is he like wearing a sombrero? Yeah, okay. That's sure. Cactuars from Final Fantasy. The Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering crossover set.
Yes.
Which is hilarious because it's a standard legal set. So they're going to have to put this on Magic Arena, a digital client. And they printed the largest creature ever, the Jumbo Cactuar.
Yep.
If you haven't seen him this week. If you follow anything in Magic, you've probably seen the Jumbo Cactuar. Gets up to 10,000 power, which is hilarious.
This is not a silver bordered card.
No, it's a real card and it's standard legal.
Yeah. I was blown away. At first I thought, I was like, this has to be a meme.
It's got to be a joke. Where's the silver border?
Or just like someone made like,
a custom card.
Oh, some Final Fantasy legendary creatures got dropped. Like, I'm going to make a cool, like, little funny card.
This Cactuar in the games has a move called 10,000 Needles. 10,000 attack.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's funny.
That's fun.
And then I was like, oh no, this is real.
It's real. Mm-hmm.
And it's hilarious.
So good.
I don't know what to think about it. The big green Stompy in me is like, this is great.
Just give him trample. And I win.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
There's so many things to do.
Yeah.
Or like, even like, if you're like getting close to losing the game and you have him out, you declare him as an attacker and then like Swords of Plowshare him.
Oh yeah, 10,000 life, boom.
10,000 life, like
it's pretty good.
Like well,
all right,
have fun, guys.
Not mad. I love the discourse around this because, well, first off, I love seeing the card design because we don't need paragraphs of text. This is one line of text.
Yep.
He's a 1/2.
No, 1/7.
1/7. All right, he's a 1/7. And when he attacks, he gets plus 9,999 power until end of turn. So he turns into a 10,007.
Yep.
Simple card design. I love it. It's beautiful in its simplicity. This is like what I like about Magic or old Magic. Some card designs now are just too complicated. This is a simple card.
Yep.
And I love the discourse around it because nobody knows how to evaluate it.
Yeah.
It's such a simple card. There's these the group of people who are like, oh, this is amazing. You can trample, you can Swords of Plowshares. Oh, there's so much you can do with it. Then there's the other camp of people saying, you guys are cactards for thinking that this is a good card. It dies to removal. Oh, it's only a 1/7. Oh, it's bad. And I'm like, I'm with you. I'm like, I think it's fine, but yeah, I don't really know.
I think we need to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I am worried that like when you like this is the creature with the biggest power and toughness ever printed.
Yeah.
In effective.
The biggest actual number.
Yeah. And so it's like, what are they going to do next?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's some element of like power creep, but not that they're going to print a 10,000 toughness creature now, or 10,001, I guess, for creep. A little bit stronger, but
yeah, like, are they going to do like it also has vigilance, or it also has trample, or it also has double strike, or
the next one.
Bull crap.
He gets plus 20,000 power.
Yeah, like it's interesting. And I'm not like mad about it, right? Like,
yeah.
I thought it was very funny online. There's the graph where it's like a bell curve.
The bell curve.
It's like the two sides, and like the two sides are usually like pretty similar, and then like the center's like.
Oh, but
like,
actually,
the dumb people are like, oh, that's a lot of damage. In the middle, no, it dies to removal. It's so bad.
It's effectively infinite anyway.
Like the argument is happening,
yeah,
and like everyone else is like, oh, that's a lot of damage.
It's a lot of the smart people at the end of the curve.
The Jedi one,
with the hood.
Yeah,
that's a lot of damage.
Like, yeah, and like in green, it's like I don't feel like in my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not a difference between 500 damage and 10,000 damage.
Yeah.
There's literally no difference.
For the game of Magic, as it stands right now, snapshot 2025.
Because like, if you have someone who's gonna gain infinite life, like, you're not usually gaining 500 life.
No.
Like, 200 is like the cap. So not like a strict cap.
That you would like normally get to.
Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like 200 is like every once in a while with like a really good deck, right?
Without infinite, 200 is like
crazy.
Yeah, it's doable but crazy.
Yeah. Like I think everyone in our play group's gotten above 100 at one point or another.
Sure.
Just, through I swing with 20.
I gave all my guys life link until end of turn. Boom.
There's 23 ones with double strike and life link.
Yeah. Ooh, I gained a bunch of life.
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, fair enough.
But when you do an infinite combo for life gain, you usually say some astronomical number.
You're like, I gained 3 trillion life.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, whatever.
Like, because you have to list a number. You can't say infinite.
Yeah.
I think
so like that's what I'm saying is like the difference between like something that's 500 power or even 100 power.
Yeah.
And 10,000 is like negligible, right? Like the benefits there's like an asymptote that it reaches where it's like the power is never going to be like so OP that it's going to be game breaking, right? Because once you get to a high number. And so anyway, what my thought is like green already has creatures that like
get big.
Like if you have a Vorinclex, what's the one that doubles the Voice of Hunger?
Yeah, maybe.
Whichever the one is that doubles the counters, right?
Apex Predator. Yes.
Voice of Hunger is the land one.
Yes.
Anyway, if you have like a Vorinclex out, it's like, okay, like on turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, whatever, like having a 50-50 creature out with Vorinclex is like not unheard of.
Yeah, no, definitely
and, like that's a one-shot kill.
Yeah.
If he gets through, that's a one-shot kill. So like, just like this Cactuar is a one-shot kill if he gets through.
Yeah.
So is a 50. So is a 40-40.
Yeah. Usually
for a normal life game, you know. And at that point, someone's already obviously taken some damage.
They've taken some damage, surely. Yeah.
Like it's not like
so. There's nothing wrong.
It's a 10,000. It's like, oh well, you just have to give him trample. It's like, yeah,
he's a 7 mana
good
creature.
Thing he doesn't have trample innately. Like
yeah. Then it's like. Then the cool card design, if they just give it trample, I'm like, all right, well, come on, that's...
Yeah.
I like make the build around.
I did see people in the comments underneath it on Reddit. They were talking about like, oh, well, you could just do this, and it's like a turn 3 card, and I was like, sick,
cool,
like,
all right.
For like standard and like,
oh
like that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, sick.
And I was like, I mean, like, go for it, like. Magic games, or the Magic meta, in my opinion, is very similar to free market capitalism.
Ah, okay.
And this is going to be a parallel, not an exact, you let it not an equal sign. There's like a about sign.
Sure. Let it regulate itself.
It will regulate itself.
Yeah.
Right? Like there will be an upset, like this card would cause an upset in a standard format, right? But guess what? Now people are going to start carrying more counter removal.
Yeah, removal, exactly.
If they don't want to fight it, they're going to have removal.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So there might be more removal, and it's going to do this little swing towards more removal, or a fog, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you're going to come back to a nice equilibrium of what the standard is meant to be.
You definitely described, how the meta shifts and responds to things, and that's also why you have a sideboard in competitive formats. And people freaking out about this in Commander, it's easy. It's just play more removal. So it's like, it's a 7 mana
and also
creature.
There's a 1% chance that they get that card.
Yeah, exactly. In Standard, you have a sideboard. Or if you're on Magic Arena and you're playing the best of 1 format, which is not the way 1v1 Magic is meant to be played, but if you are, just play an aggro deck like everybody else in the best of 1 ladder, because you just do fast games.
Well, this card costs 7 mana.
Yeah,
like it's not
just play mono red aggro on best of 1 if you're worried about
lightning bolt them 6 times.
Yeah, bunch of goblins, swing.
Like there's no difference between this and having 10,000 goblins on board.
No, yeah, it's the same thing.
Like, and that's really relatively easy to do.
Yeah,
with all the different
even Magic Arena has infinite combos built into it already. So
I think it's a cool, interesting card.
Yeah,
I don't hate it, but
I will. Pause. I want to fix the light real quick. Next, Magic the Gathering cards. They had some commanders.
I saw that they showed them. I didn't.
Yeah, are pretty cool. So you don't know much about Final Fantasy.
Never
really.
Touched the game.
Yeah. I've played some Final Fantasies.
I know there's like 18 of them.
16? Yeah, I think number 16 kind of flopped. So I kind of forgot that one existed. But there probably are actually more than 18. There's 16 main games, but if you're counting 10 and 10-2, then there was 13, 13-2, and 13-3.
19.
14 is an MMO, so they've had expansions, but they're still just called 14.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Tactics was a spin-off game.
20?
That was a totally different game mode. Those are at least the ones I can name off the top of my head. So, yeah, maybe 20. You said 19, right? 18?
18 is 18, what I said.
Yeah. Pretty good, pretty close.
To be honest, it was a complete guess. I knew that I had heard of Final Fantasy 15.
Yes, right. That one had pretty big commercial success. Yeah. Anyway, it's cool. They're doing the Final Fantasy crossover. I like some of the cards, some of the art. Some of the design is pretty neat. And I can say from at least the ones I know, pretty true to form in terms of the flavor, the crossover, which I think was bound to happen because Square Enix, who owns Final Fantasy, they're pretty protective of their IP, almost a la Games Workshop with Warhammer. So it makes sense that they were like, don't screw this up, Wizards of the Coast. Like they were, I'm sure, involved in the design process. So there's some of the pre-con commanders I think are cool. Cloud, who's from Final Fantasy VII with the Buster Blade. He's probably the most iconic Final Fantasy character. They made him Naya, so he's 2, a red, green, and a white for a pre-con. It's going to be about equipment, kind of Voltron-y. So he's the 5 mana, 4/4 haste, and then when he enters, you just attach 1 equipment you control to him. So I'm assuming there's going to be like a Buster Blade sword in the deck because he's got it in the heart. So 5 mana, 4/4, he's got haste. He comes in, you throw an equipment on him so you can attack. That's cool. And then whenever he attacks, draw a card. That's my favorite line of text on a commander.
the only line of text you need, right, Trevor?
Draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. So that's kind of like a go wide, maybe, or like
go
elite.
Yeah,
you want a couple guys with equipment on them.
Yeah,
like
that's a lot of card draw though. Like if you have like 4 guys out with like a whatever equipment,
draw a card for.
I guess it's not. It'd be better if it was a modified creature.
Yeah, right. Modified in the red green, especially did that. And then the last part is then if he has power, if Cloud has power 7 or greater, you also create 2 treasure tokens.
Oh, that's super good.
In addition to the card draw. So
this guy, that's a kind of broken, not broken, but like
it's good.
Card draw, mana advantage.
Yeah.
That's all you want in a commander.
And he's relatively aggressive. He's, he's got haste. He comes out swinging.
But he doesn't have to swing for that trigger.
He does.
Oh,
it does. When he attacks, you draw a card for each equipped attacking creature.
Gotcha.
That's why, if he didn't have haste, it'd be terrible. But it's cool that he has an enter the battlefield trigger and an attack trigger, and he's got haste. You can do it all in one turn.
Yeah.
Big swing with a little bit of setup, because you want an equipment for him. And then you want maybe a couple other creatures with equipment already.
Yeah.
So red, green, white is pretty cool. The last deck that had a similar theme to this was the Fallout deck that had dog meat, which was kind of funny that deck is like a dog and you put all your equipment on him. It's Voltron-y. So this one as well. I'm like, all right. I haven't made my own Naya deck actually for my 32 deck challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but if seeing a couple like this, I'm like, that could persuade me.
Yeah.
I technically own the dog meat deck. I'm like, I would maybe build this one from scratch.
Sure.
So that was cool. Do you have any other Final Fantasy cards? Or you were mainly just the.
Honestly just the Cactuar. That's the only one that I was like,
just a Cactus fan.
Yeah, I didn't. This week I didn't look at a ton of.
No, that's
Final Fantasy or.
Did you see they did?
I did see that there was supposed to be some spoilers about Tarkir.
Yes,
the dragons.
Yeah,
but like everyone was like, "Oh, but Final Fantasy." I did see that they announced that they're doing an Atla crossover.
Yes, that was
cool.
Announced. Hey, that's going to happen. I think that's at the end of this year.
Yeah, I think November.
You see, with the Final Fantasy, a lot of the games have summons. Final Fantasy was one of the first RPGs to do like the summoner class, the summoner archetype. And so usually they're pretty strong, pretty powerful, like cooldowns in combat. How they represented that in Magic is they did saga creatures.
I did see the saga creatures.
Yeah, so they spoiled one of them. It's nothing to write home about. It's just a random uncommon, but the concept is kind of cool, I guess. You have a temporary creature because sagas just go through each turn. The counter ticks up until they disappear. I'm like, okay, that's...
So they will disappear, though?
They will, yeah.
Interesting.
You have to sacrifice a saga, after its third turn in most cases.
After the last one.
Yeah, after the last step.
Some that have like 8.
Yeah, true. So I was like, okay, I feel that's kind of weird to make a mana investment to kind of balance that. Because you think like, in this case, again, it's not a great creature, but you're paying like 5 mana for a 4/5. It's got some effects each turn because it is still an enchantment and a saga, but then you only get to attack with it once because then it's dead at the start of the third turn. So it's like, what does my 5 mana get me?
It dies at the start of the third turn.
Yeah,
that's right.
So you play it on turn 1. Turn 2, it loses summoning sickness, so you can attack with it, and then turn 3, it does its last effect.
Didn't the first ability give it haste?
No, the first ability just taps creatures. On this one, you tap a creature, put a stun counter on it for 1 and 2, and then 3 is draw a card for each tap creature your opponents control.
Which, like that, like last one, you could play around that pretty well.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I think that one is also going to be in the standard set, so it's like all right, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
It's interesting design.
Yeah, I was gonna steal your phrase, design space.
Design space.
Like that's not your phrase necessarily, but
sure. It seems hard.
I like it,
but
I don't mind it. It's like a temporary creature isn't a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah,
it's not like a good thing.
Good thing,
but like the saga aspect of it is like maybe they balance out the temporariness.
Right.
Of these creatures with like some good saga type effect.
Well, and there's synergy inherently because it's counters that tick up. Mm-hmm. So at least one of the precon commanders lets you move counters. So maybe in the standard set where they're going to do more of these summons saga creatures, you're going to have counter moving. So you can remove the counters and keep your creature around. Perhaps.
And get that effect multiple times, the second effect.
Yeah.
Times.
So I'm like, okay. Again, it's good design space.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
So that's kind of cool.
I did see that one. Yeah, you're right.
First time we've seen a saga creature.
What was the name of it?
That is Shiva. Summon Shiva.
That's right.
So in the game, she's pretty good. She's a big ice witch, big ice damage. So I'm intrigued to see more.
Also a Hindu god.
Yes, that's right. God of destruction, I think.
And creation.
Oh yeah, Hindu has a lot of those actually, where it's like.
I think most of them are gods of destruction and creation.
Yeah, they're all pretty big things. It's not like Greek where you're like, yeah, you're the god of
messengers,
right? We got so many of them. I don't know. You're the god of something else random. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't care. Pick one.
And then they also do like the thing where it's like, oh yes, this is the god of war. And here's the goddess of war.
Here's the god of conflict.
Yeah,
or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Oh, Zeus is also a god of war. It's one of his like lesser themes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Athena.
Yeah.
And then
Ares is the main god of war.
I was thinking Mars because of
the Roman version. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, yeah, Athena, the goddess of war and wisdom. Wisdom and war?
Yeah. Wisdom. So like battle strategy.
Yeah. And then there's Ares, god of war.
And bullheadedness. Yeah. He's no wisdom.
Yeah. Blue versus red.
Yeah, basically. To put it into magic terms. They're both war. They're both aggression.
Yeah. And then there's Gaia.
Oh yeah.
Who's green.
Green.
It's just big war.
Nature war.
I actually don't think she's any goddess of war at all.
No, probably not, but
I don't remember. Also, most useless classes to take in high school.
Greek mythology?
Yeah.
Or just mythology, yeah.
Like,
they're fun.
It's cool. No, like, don't get me wrong. It's a very cool subject. And like, if that's like your hobby, like that's sick.
Yeah.
Right? Like that it's a cool hobby and like cool thing to know, but like why did we all learn that?
Because I dropped out of advanced English. That's why I learned.
Well, no, so in like high school, right? Yeah. It was like an elective English course. Like one of the ones you could take instead of like a regular English
normal
course.
English.
But like I don't know about in your elementary school, but like my elementary school, we learned about like a lot of those guys.
Really?
I don't know why.
I feel like maybe I read some of like Aesop's fables or something, which you could argue is like Western mythology. I don't know, like American mythology.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember distinctly Greek mythology like in elementary.
For whatever reason, we learned about Greek mythology and Roman mythology, which is very similar.
Yeah.
And like it was at the same time we were learning about like Greek and like Roman cultures.
Yeah, okay.
Which I mean, like, I guess, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. You digress.
Rabbit.
Dragon Storm is the name of the next standard set. That's actually before the Final Fantasy set, so that's why people were like, where are those spoilers, those previews? So it's the return to Tarkir, which is a cool set, a cool plane in Magic the Gathering, their own unique IP.
Which is a good thing.
It's cool. It's cool to see because it's a return to the 3-color clans that are pretty popular. So they showed us a lot of art and a couple cards.
Some you could say that the dragons that started Commander, who are from Tarkir, right?
Yeah. There's some of them. There's the
Elder Dragons.
The Elder Dragons. They printed some. They're not the original Elder Dragons, but they are. Yeah, there are more Elder Dragons in this set, or from this plane rather. There's Sultai, Jeskai, all the kind of Asian sounding ones. Mardu. I don't remember the other ones. Abzan. I guess that one's not Asian sounding.
Very Arabic sounding. That
one. Yeah. Yeah, and then one other one. I don't know. Sultai.
Jund?
No, Jund is one of the original, the other set. Anyway, they have couple fun cards to share. I don't know how much you know about, like, in competitive Magic they have the Moxes. Right, some of those are on the Power 9. They've got a couple of fun variants of them, which are Mox Opal, Mox Amber, I think was one of the recent ones. Yeah. But they're always like 0 mana artifacts that tap for mana in some way, shape, or form. So this one they're doing Mox Jasper, which is a 0 mana legendary artifact. They started printing that on the newer Moxes to balance that a little bit. You can only have one. And it's a tap to add 1 mana of any color, but only if you control a dragon.
That's cool.
So the last one, Mox Amber, I think was legendary. You need another legendary creature, or legendary permanent or something. That one was like fine. I saw some play. But 0 mana, and then it's free mana if you have a dragon.
Yeah.
And so I a lot of the comments and memes on this is like 1 mana, 1/1 changeling is like, I'm something of a dragon myself. That's obviously they thought about that, but it is kind of funny if you think, like, I don't know, the lower end of the bell curve, like, oh, dragons are really expensive, so this is a balanced card. You're like, no, I think they thought about the 1 mana changelings, and they're like, nah, that's fine. That's fine.
They have changeling is changeling is the creature type equivalent to storm.
Yeah, anytime you're doing any card design around creature types, you got to think about changelings.
Yeah, 100%.
That are every creature type for the purposes of the rules.
Do they even print changeling anymore?
I haven't seen it in a while, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a storm on the storm scale, but for creature types.
It's up on the storm scale. Speaking of the storm scale, I don't think I saved it, but they printed a new dragon
with storm
called the Storm Scale. The Storm Scale wing or something.
That's hilarious.
And he has storm on him. He's like a 6 mana 5/5, I want to say.
No, it's not too bad.
And he's a dragon lord, so he gives other dragons you control +1/+1, and then he has storm on him, which is funny. He's called the Storm Scale dragon.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think, again, one of the lead designers came out and he was like, yeah, it's a 6 mana thing with storm on it, but, like, I don't know, he's 6 mana. He doesn't have haste, so, like,
like, you use storm once.
Go crazy. We printed storm in standard. Don't worry, guys. It's not going to be that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's exactly what I said, except he's a 4/4. 6 mana 4/4.
With the storm trigger is good, but you only get to use it once.
You only get to use it unless your opponent starts doing a bunch of stuff, in which case it's all right, you get a bunch of dragons in response. It's fun. The Storm Scale Scion. The last one that I had to share, because this is brings back PTSD flashbacks for me. That's a joke. I'm not actually joking about trauma or veterans or anything. But Siege Rhino from the original Tarkir. This is back when I played standard, semi-competitive Magic. Siege Rhino was in every deck. He more or less defined the mid-range archetype of decks, of deck building in Magic for years to come. Because he was a 4 mana 4/5, but you had to get one of each color because he was Abzan. So he's 1, a white, a black, and a green. So they were like, oh, 4 mana 4/5, okay, that's balanced. With Trample, you're like, this is an amazing card already. And then when he entered, it was each opponent lost 3 life and you gained 3 life. So he defined the mid-range archetype of just like, you get to 4 mana and you just play this big, bulky, tanky thing. You get a 6-point net life swing, and then you just sit on it, and then you board wipe everything smaller than 5 health, and then you swing. Because in that, it wasn't the same set, but I think it was the set after Tarkir. They had a board wipe that was like, all creatures get -4/-4. You're like, all right, come on, guys. You did that for Siege Rhino.
Yeah,
I know you did. Now they have Skirmish Rhino, his younger cousin, younger identical cousin. Because he's a 3 mana, so he's just a Pips, the black or white, black, green. 3 mana, 3/4 with Trample. And when he enters, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2
He's
life.
literally just his younger brother.
Yeah, that's it. It's Skirmish Rhino. He copied Siege Rhino's homework. Like
Siege Rhino broke the wall.
The Skirmish Rhino. I'm here too, guys. Yeah, I have no notes. A 10 out of 10 design. It again gives me the flashbacks of like, no, I was there 10,000 years ago.
I was there when the ancient scrolls were written.
The Skirmish Rhino. Like, it's a good thing I don't play Standard competitively anymore, because that guy is... That's mid-range.
Busted.
Yeah, just play a bunch of Skirmish Rhinos and some board wipes, you're good to go. Like, pretty funny. He's not going to make waves in Commander or anything, but I had to highlight.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. They print these cards. I think it's actually like not a bad thing. I don't know what I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know.
I don't know.
No, but like,
at least you have conviction.
It's kind of anti-commander power creep to have all these cards opened up to standard
power level.
Yeah, because like, if they were only commander legal, they could just print whatever the heck they wanted.
Yeah, exactly. If they just abolish the standard format or modern format, everything,
and then it's like that just turns into Yu-Gi-Oh! Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no formats. Yeah. No official format.
Sure. Yeah. But with them opening up the commander stuff to standard, I know we talked about it previously when we were like, especially with like the different crossovers that they do and things like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, now they have to kind of balance it all, and something that like is like insanely power creepy in standard is like super not commander, right?
Right.
Like that is like a decent card.
They're pretty good cards in standard, yeah.
You know, and like maybe not power creepy, but like certainly a good card.
And it's,
but like in commander, it's like I have to have 3 different mana to play this guy who's like a run of like
in commander, everybody else loses 2 life and I gain 2,
it's
but
a 5% loss to love life.
Yeah,
for like
net life swings don't matter as much in a not 1v1 format, so like you can't really factor
because the
that
net
in.
has taken. It's actually a net 1 life swing.
Yeah,
because the other people are at
they're all your opponents
0.
Yeah,
not net, average
sure.
Swing of 1. No, average of 0.
Yeah,
it's an average of 0.
The statistics don't work in your favor for that. So
like
it's a good point. It's like it's good. It's good that they have different formats. I think keep them separate.
Yeah,
it's fine. Since we're this far down, all right, you can have your commander cards over here, your standard cards over there. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's good.
Any other dragons or
no? Those are kind of the big exciting ones already. So I'm sure we'll have more to come.
Sure.
Let's talk about my agenda closed, but no, here we go. Video games. We got to talk about this.
They're okay.
The big news this week: Avowed came out. Bethesda's big game, or Obsidian's big game. It's not Bethesda anymore. Sorry. We've been waiting years for this.
This was supposed to be a replacement for, not a replacement for, but like
the next Skyrim.
Yeah.
Technically, Oblivion. Obsidian made Oblivion, and I don't.
But that's what it was kind of touted as. Was
the next big open world
Skyrim killer
RPG.
Yeah.
Look at this combat. It's new and improved. The art, exploration, everything's better. It's better, and it's okay. Every review I saw about this week was just like, Avowed. It's like I'm having fun with it. 6 out of 10. Do people not know how to critique things anymore? Like, you can say you're having fun with it, but then acknowledge like, this game really needs some improvement, or like, I expected more, or it's not worth a $70 price tag.
Yeah. Well, and the Steam numbers reflect that as well, because Skyrim has more current players than
Avowed does.
Skyrim has more current players than the peak of Avowed.
Yeah, Avowed's peak, which came out on Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever.
And to be fair, I don't know if it's just a marketing thing.
I don't think so, because like I
don't know.
I think they pumped a lot of money into the marketing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, everything I've seen about Avowed, of like, okay, maybe I'm not the target audience anymore, because if I was 12, I probably would have liked this game, I guess. I played Oblivion when I was 12, and I liked that game.
Yeah.
This game just looks like Oblivion. That doesn't excite me anymore.
Mm-hmm. No. I mean, especially because it was 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Oblivion is over a 15-year-old game.
Yeah, I think it's literally, 2006 or 2007, something like that.
20-year-old game nearly.
Yeah.
And
it looks...
Skyrim is better than Oblivion.
Yeah,
in terms of
2012.
Yeah. And so people still play Skyrim all the time.
Skyrim with mods, Skyrim HD, Skyrim on your Switch, on your smart fridge, like...
Skyrim everywhere.
Skyrim is the gold standard of this style of game, and Obsidian knows that, and this game just doesn't have any of that magic.
I will say, I think that the best one that's come out recently from the reviews I've seen, I haven't played all of these, or any of these, actually.
Any of these new games lately?
I've never played Skyrim nor Oblivion. I just know that they're fantastic games because my friends and my wife tell me they're not my...
You actually never played Skyrim, okay.
Never touched Skyrim.
I didn't know that.
I didn't have video games growing up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, like... And it's one of those games where you're supposed to play on Xbox with a controller, right? Effectively.
Yeah.
And my controller skills are non-existent.
You can do Skyrim actually, mouse and keyboard. It's not
Can
bad.
you?
Yeah. I did Oblivion mouse and keyboard, and then Skyrim after that. Yeah.
Everyone just always has told me, like, oh, you have to use. I mean, if you're playing Skyrim, you have to use an Xbox controller.
No, I'll only die on the hill of like Dark Souls games, the kind of the fast-paced combat.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you really need, because then it's like left, right. Yeah, Skyrim, you don't really need the controller.
So, and that's one of the reasons I've never played a Souls-like game, is because my controller skills are literally non-existent.
Yeah,
I did not grow up with them. I started playing video games on M&K.
Yeah.
I have played like COD on an Xbox.
Sure,
right?
sure.
But unless I like really practice, I still do the 1 stick, 2 stick. Like, it's not like a fluid like movement of...
Gotcha. I think I made this joke before then, yeah, but like Nintendo 64 controller, it's like, how do I hold this? Like, to somebody who has no controller skills.
I have no clue. When the three things on...
The three prongs.
We'll be over and like someone's like, oh yeah, well, let's play like N64 or like GameCube or whatever.
Retro.
And it's like, okay, yeah, and we'll play like Smash on it, like one of the Super Smash Bros. Games or whatever. And it's like, I have to like push these buttons over here, but my hand is in the middle. But what if like why does this like look very phallic? Like I feel very gay. Like
yeah. Naturally.
I'm not a controller guy.
Not for you.
Not at all. And so like anyway, so I've never played these games.
So Skyrim, yeah.
But from looking at all these reviews and things like that, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just came out.
Yeah.
It's kind of a very similar vibe to this type of game, Skyrim.
So, yeah. First person, open world,
medieval
RPG, forge your own path. Yeah.
So, and that game has like good reviews. Like that.
A lot of reviews. Big marketing budget as well.
Yeah.
You see
and I even texted around. I was like, hey, you should look into this and like, look at playing it, because she loves Skyrim.
Right.
But like she's like done the mod stuff and like it's kind of like
done a lot. Yeah.
She's like she's done with the game basically.
Yeah. Right. Come back to Skyrim in a few years or something when you get the kick for it. Yeah.
But I was like, you should try this game.
Yeah. That is, I think that's probably a fair comparison, honestly, because Kingdom Come Deliverance is even a smaller studio. It's a relatively indie studio. In fact, I think by definition they are indie. They publish themselves, I believe. Whereas, Avowed is Obsidian who made it, but they've got Bethesda backing them. They're on Xbox Game Pass. They're not paying for all of their advertising, their marketing budget. They got a publisher behind them. It's AAA. It's a $70 game.
I am interested. The Steam numbers say, I think it was 20,000 or something.
I saw like 12,000 was like.
Yeah, I think the peak was like maybe 17 or 18 or something like that, which is not a high number.
No.
When you have games like Helldivers or Power World or all these different things that are like
I get
hundreds of thousands of people.
It's a single player game. You can't directly compare, but like, come on, still.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. But
hundreds of thousands to not that much.
I will say that I think that the Game Pass thing, I wish that Xbox and PlayStation would publish their concurrent
releases numbers,
like Steam does, because because it is a Skyrim type or Oblivion type game.
Yeah. There could be a lot of hidden console
the
players.
M&K players who play on Steam are probably not playing it as much as the controller players are playing it on their Xbox Game Pass.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a fair point to consider. Like, okay, yeah, we don't know how many Game Pass subscribers we might know, but then how many people actually clicked on Avowed and are playing at any given moment. Like Steam has a lot of tracking, which is cool. And then how many of those people actually bought Avowed? That one again, we probably find out in a while, how many copies of Avowed sold on Xbox.
They might not have to, because is Bethesda a public company or is it private?
I don't know, actually.
Because if it's private, they don't have to release their numbers.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe. They can lie all they want.
Right.
If they actually lie and someone sues them, they could get
Sure.
They could get sued for it, but they don't have to. They don't even have to tell you the numbers if they don't want to.
Yeah. Steam numbers, I think, are a fair approximation to at least see that. And from what I've seen of the game, I don't think it's doing that well.
No. So I'm going to push back on half of that and not on the other half.
Yeah.
I do think that with certain types of games, so the Steam numbers are always an indicator, but there's a weighted scale of how good of an indication it is based off of the type of game.
Definitely.
Right.
Yep.
So a first-person shooter, you're probably going to rely on the Steam numbers more than with a Final Fantasy, or a Skyrim type game, because so many people are playing that on Xbox,
on consoles,
PlayStation, or whatever.
Definitely. Yeah, that makes sense.
FPS games, a lot of people, probably over 50% is my guess, would play them on M&K.
Yeah.
Depending on the game, right? If not, it's probably close to 50%, if not anything.
Yeah.
Right. Or an even split of 33, 33, 33 between the three,
the three consoles,
M&K, PlayStation, and Xbox, if they're all on all three of those. So I do think that there is a weighted scale, and so I will push back on that. Where we might think it's not doing as good as it is, but I will say, I will agree with you that from what I've seen in the reviews, you sent me one last night that was hilarious.
It's so funny.
We should probably link that video.
We'll shout him out because he shares a lot of similar views to myself. So
just the funniest review, man.
I found him recently.
Okay.
it's okay.
Yeah. I do think that they did not knock it out of the park.
No. Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to make their money back on it. I don't know.
You're right. This is something we talk about a lot. And again, it's people don't know how to critique anymore. I think gamers should expect more from game developers.
Sure.
And this is just okay. It's just meh, is what I would say. It's meh. It's whatever. But you should expect Game of the Year. Every game should be Game of the Year. And that's one thing I saw. I was like, well, they weren't planning to make a Game of the Year contender. Why not?
You should.
You should. Put your heart and soul into every game you make.
This is. I agree. This is my take on it. You should be trying to make the best game possible for what you're trying to make.
Exactly.
For example, no one thought that Balatro
I knew you were going to go there.
Ever going to win a Game of the Year or any award.
Any award. Or be nominated.
It's some guy in his pajamas in his basement, in
Canada, freezing his...
He's probably a super nice guy, he probably has a 9 to 5 and has a family or something like that.
He's got a gazillion dollars now, so it's
sure. But he was like, I want a good card game. I'm sick of playing solitaire.
Yeah.
So
put his heart and soul into a card game.
And it's a well written game. I've actually been tempted to buy it because it looks super fun.
Because it's got it looks just like poker from the outside, so it's easy barrier of entry.
And they're all poker hands, and so if you've played Texas Hold'em or standard poker, you're I understand this.
Yeah.
The rules that are there, you understand the base rules if you've played poker before, which most people our age have played at least enough to understand how to play it.
I've seen James Bond.
Yeah.
All in.
Wrong, Mr. Bond.
Wrong, Mr. Bond. Yes.
So, and he made a great game.
Yeah.
And
he went out to make the best poker-related game.
Roguelike poker game?
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's
That should be... If this is Obsidian, making Avowed, they should have been, what's our golden standard? Skyrim. Let's make a game better than Skyrim.
For sure.
Boom.
And I've seen critiques about it where it's like, oh yes, here's Oblivion. And it's like you hit a bucket and the bucket like moves.
Prop physics.
Or like splashes water, right?
Yeah,
and then you go to Skyrim and you hit the bucket and it like boom,
and it falls off, and
it goes far away. And then you play Avowed and you like hit the bucket and it goes. It makes the sound.
It's the same sound effect for hitting like everything.
Yeah, and it's like just,
okay.
There's
no life to the NPCs. I think I might have seen the same video as you.
Yeah.
In Obsidian, the NPCs had lives.
Yeah,
they would like talk to each other. The town guards patrol. They're like, oh, what? And you can rumor gather. Like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you can actually listen to the townsfolk and see what they're talking about and find out quests or new locations, or just they're living their lives. Avowed, everyone is just like dead.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like fake. It's like when you're watching an animation and there's like a big crowd and you look in the back and you see the people aren't actually moving.
Yeah.
They're just there. It's like that's what they did in a game.
Yep.
Again, didn't hit it out of the park. It's just meh. I won't be playing it. I wouldn't say I had high hopes for it, but I had better hopes for it.
The cover art of it, the game art.
Oh yeah, it looks sick. Yeah, it's
like
a
little rainbowy
skeleton with like flowers.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah,
but well.
Oh well. Meh. I go play Pirate Yakuza instead.
It was.
Yeah, I died laughing at that because it does have better numbers on Steam right now. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. For some random Yakuza spin-off game, which is another random single-player game, doesn't get big numbers, but still, it's better.
Very funny.
Yeah. We got a few minutes left. You want to tell me about the movie you saw last night?
Yeah.
This is timely. I think this movie just came out like last week.
I think so. I think it came out on Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day, yeah.
Valentine's Day was Friday, so like there was a bunch of movies that came out like Valentine's Day movies.
There were like 2 or 3 like horror movies. I joked with my wife. I'm like, well, I guess we're gonna go see like a horror slasher film on Valentine's Day.
There was like 3 of them that came out that were like that.
Right.
This one came out. It's not a horror slasher movie. It's an
action movie, right?
It's an action movie. It's kind of a little bit of like
it's John Wick Valentine's.
A little bit.
That's
like
funny.
It's got so I'll say this.
Love Hurts, right? Love Hurts.
Yeah, the movie's called Love Hurts. It I don't know. It does have a very interesting like John Wick feeling, but I liked it because it didn't take itself too seriously. It was comedic.
Sure. All right.
There were some comedic beats. It was also like over the top, and like it reminded me of the action and the fighting and like the what it did kind of reminded me of like an anime.
Okay.
Where it's like a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that guy just got sliced to smithereens and he's still fighting. Like
doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's not like, oh, I take one knife to the stomach and I'm out for the count. It's like
you don't need the gritty dark.
No. And like the fighting is like it's not trying to be serious, and so it's good, right?
Sure, yeah. It's choreographed like that.
Yes.
On purpose. Yeah.
It's not like a show where it's like, oh, they're like trying to be real fighting, and then they're like, that's not why are you trying? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like the first fight scene that you see is like, oh, maybe the second fight scene. One of the fight scenes that you see is like, you're like, oh, okay, I understand how this is supposed to go. Like, this is supposed to not be serious.
Cool. All right. It sets the
which
tone.
Is great because they kind of stick with that the entire time. It's not like crazy over the top.
Yeah. They're not just like spewing blood everywhere.
No, but it's also just like, and they get hurt, right? Like they're like hurt and stuff like that. But it's like, oh, these guys are just like cool and like this is like a fun like ninja type, assassin,
martial art,
gangster type. It's real fun.
Okay. Fun movie.
The storyline, it's a short movie, relatively. It's an hour and 25 minutes or something like that.
All right.
So, relatively short movie.
I'm okay with that these days, yeah.
It was, the acting was good. There was two of the, like, henchman gangsters have, like, a little, like, friendship, like, gangster friendship going on.
Okay.
Where they're like buddies, but, like, they're gangsters, so they're kind of, like, mean to each other.
I'm gonna be tough.
Yeah. And, like, there's the scene that you get introduced to them. There's one who's like, man, and there's like a lovey-dovey stuff in it because it's a Valentine's
Day movie, kind of cheesy.
Yeah, and like they have like their inner dialogue. It's like, oh, I should give up this life for my love, or but it's like not like campy, but it's like, oh, this is like silly, you know. But like these two little gangster guys are like, you know, you're introduced to them, and like one of the dialogues is like, one of them is like, you know, it zooms in on them into the car window or whatever, and it's like, oh, my wife is leaving me, or like she kicked me out again, and he's like, because you're a dumbass, and he's like, they start going back and forth, like,
bickering, yeah.
I'm gonna shove your head up here, like,
nice.
I'd like to see you try, and then like it cuts like, oh wait, there he is.
Oh, crap, we have a job to do.
Yeah, so it's like funny, right? It was, honestly, if you're going to the movies and you're like, I have nothing to see, like, if you just want to go to like a good, solid, like, entertaining time, it's not trying to be too serious, like,
no,
and it's not like there's not a ton of CGI.
Sure, like it's just choreography.
The acting was good. It wasn't like gonna win an Oscar acting, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
it's okay to turn your brain off and enjoy the fights.
It was great, and like, I hope it comes out on a streaming platform, because like definitely rewatchable movie, definitely a fun movie.
Nice.
Definitely one where you like, if you're like looking for something to watch on a Friday night with your significant other, or just like by yourself even, like, it's worth the watch on a streaming service. 100%.
Cool.
Going to the theater, I'd give it like an 80%. Yes.
It's like, if you want, and we're in
if you have the hankering to go to the movies, like, I don't think this is like a go out to the movies right now and watch the movie.
You must,
right?
Yeah.
But if you have a hankering to go to the movies, this would be a solid option to choose. Like, it's a solid 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Cool. Yeah.
Overall.
Fun.
Like, I'm not wanting like a sequel. You know, I'm not wanting to like.
I don't need a cinematic universe.
The lore. I don't need. It's just a fun movie, and it was really good.
Good little standoff.
It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. Love hurts.
Yep, and there's some funny relationships that happen, and it's like, you know, one of the assassins is like, you know, a poet as well, and he like, it's just funny. It's really good, and they did it really well.
That does sound enjoyable. That sounds like. Sometimes you need those movies. You turn your brain off, hour and a half. You just have a good time.
And at first you're like, what the heck? It's
because it
like,
seems serious at first, because he's like, all these guys are coming to kill him. You're like, this is serious.
And you don't know what's going to happen. And then, like, you know, there's a classic, like, one of the characters draws a Hitler mustache on another character. And it's like, it's just funny.
Cool. Yeah.
It's just funny. And it's not overly gory. It's rated R, but it's not overly gory.
Yeah, I like this.
I think the main thing is just swearing. There's no sexuality in it,
right? Okay.
At all.
For a romance movie, it's fine. You don't need that.
There's zero. I think there's like a couple kisses, but like whatever. Yeah. I think it's just a swearing, and like the fight scenes are like
there's
bloody,
some blood,
right? Yeah, but it's not. It's less than John Wick. So
yeah, it's not guns like. Bloody.
There's like 3. So there's like some shootouts.
Yeah.
But like there's like 3 people who die from guns.
Okay.
So like.
Because then that's my metric of like the PG-13 gun death to the R gun death is like.
There's definitely a couple R gun deaths.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, there's like one death where you're like,
oh, it got its rating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, I highly suggest it if you're looking for something to watch on streaming. If you have it on your streaming platform, 100% give it a watch.
Go for it.
It's an hour and a half. Like,
what do you got to lose?
Yeah, great Friday night. You know, put it on after dinner at 7:30 or whatever, and then, you know, go to bed at 9.
Done.
You're good to go.
Crazy weekends you got there, man.
9 o'clock is late for me, man.
Ooh, oh man, it's getting late.
9 o'clock is less than 8 hours of sleep.
That's fair, yeah. But on the weekends, you can party.
Yeah, I guess I can stay up till 10.
Whoa.
That is 6 on the weekends.
That is normally, when I go to bed. Last night I stayed up till midnight, which was out of the ordinary for me, but
I haven't stayed up that late for a long time.
Yeah, it was weird. That's why I had a monster today.
Fair enough.
Magic card of the week?
Sure.
Yeah, what you got for us?
Make it relatively, I hope it's still up. I would be so pissed if it wasn't.
If it's closed, then it's canceled. See you next week. No more magic.
I've got a common for you.
Oh, snap. For Popper?
Popper. So it's a 3-mana 2/2.
It's playable. It dies to lightning bolt, but
everything dies to lightning bolt in Popper, Trevor.
Unplayable. Dies to removal.
It's a green. Classic Steven.
Obviously. It's an elf.
No, it's a pest.
A pest.
One of the 4 pest cards or something
What's
like
a
that.
pest?
Overgrown pest. So when overgrown pest enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library.
Okay.
You may reveal a land or double-faced card from among them and put that card into your hand.
Sure.
Put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order.
Huh.
So
the overgrown pest.
Yeah, I think there would be, and it's legal in everything, by the way.
Yeah, how's that art on that one? I don't think I've seen
He's little. Okay, come on.
I'm assuming Strixhaven, I think, was the first one that had pests.
Set occurrences, MOM.
March of the Machines. Oh. Yeah, March of the Machines. That is ugly.
Yeah.
That is quite fantastic.
It's like a little iguana type thing.
Yeah.
Like an iguana beetle.
Well, then he's like, it looks like he's wearing the skin suit of another thing.
Rawr.
Overgrown pest.
Yeah, I like him because, like, Pauper getting through your deck can be sometimes a little bit tricky.
Or card draw, or
Yeah, and so
at the bare minimum, you should have a land in the top 5. You shouldn't whiff ever.
Yep. And if you do, you don't have to reveal a card, and then you don't have to shuffle them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay.
Or put them on the bottom, right? It's you may reveal a land card or double-faced card and put that card in your hand, and then maybe you do have to, because it says then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. No, so if you don't reveal one, you don't have to do that.
It could be, yeah.
I don't know. I wonder what the rulings are.
If you have also double-faced cards in your deck, right? Which have some versatility there.
True.
Yeah, I think there's room for a fun little Pauper deck.
There are no rulings on this card.
Yeah, nobody's ever heard of it until today. Brought to you.
So I think it wouldn't be a bad, try to work around or put this in a deck where you're like, trying to do stuff with, maybe you need a little bit more mana. Helps you tutor out some mana,
right? Kind of. Card selection
or double-faced cards.
Pauper is the format to homebrew, to try new things that are viable. I've spoilers for next time, or I don't know, maybe next time after we play Pauper, I can talk about it. I'm brewing my own deck,
are you?
Deck, and it's pretty fun. It's on my desk.
Nice.
Very excited to try it out.
Nice.
I think it's going to take some iterations. So I'm a fan of cards like that, where you're like, I can make this work in Pauper. I'll find a way. So
I don't think he's good in anything but Pauper.
No, probably not. It's cute art though.
I mean, maybe in like not a standard deck, like a commander deck. If you have
double-faced cards.
Yeah, if you need like an extra body, like an extra 2/2.
Gotta have some better synergies,
Yeah, I don't know.
Overgrown pest synergies.
All 7.
That's
4 creatures. 3. I think it's literally like 4 creatures.
There is one commander who like buffs your pests, insects, rats, snakes. Maybe not snakes.
Oh.
There's one
the Vexing Pest.
Yeah, he's got pest synergy.
Other pests, bats, insects, snakes, and spiders get +1/+1.
There it is. Yeah.
When he dies, you gain 4 life. So there's actually only 3 pest cards.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of tokens.
Yeah, and then there's a Signal Pest, who's an artifact.
Ooh.
He's not very good.
Not worthy.
1 mana 0/1.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And he can't be blocked by creatures with flying or reach.
Woo.
Except by creatures with flying or reach, sorry.
Oh, okay. So he's got
flying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fun. Thanks for sharing.
Very good.
Cool. Thank you for watching this week's episode of the 5G Podcast.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.